Vayishlach is the name of this Sidra's Torah reading, and Vayishlach has very many powerful implications to it, some of which are obvious and some of which are less obvious. To look at simply one of them for this week, the first word Vayishlach, and he dispatched, referring to Jacob sending out angels or messengers to greet his brother Esau to find out whether his heels had cooled in the intervening years or not, because as you remember, many, many years ago, already more than 2 decades have passed since the last time Esau swore that he would murder Jacob for having taken his coveted blessing from his father. And now, on the eve of their meeting again, Jacob sends messengers out, Vayishlach, and he dispatches. And one of the great Hasidic masters, Rab Naftali of Ravnich, asks, what does the word Vayishlach indicate to us, the person who wants to read the text very closely? Take the word apart. Vay, and then shalach. Vay says, like oy vey, that I have discerned inside of me a powerful enemy. And that enemy is atzvut, is darkness, is sadness, is depression. That what Jacob has seen inside of himself is a great sadness that he has lost his mother, and that his father is now ready to die, and his brother now about ready to meet him on the battlefield for his life, having been cheated by his father-in-law, having achieved not the wife that he desired first, but a wife of deception, and then a second woman, the one whom he really desired. So many things went wrong in Jacob's life, and of course, all the deception that Laban exposed him to time and again was part of Jacob's darkness, because as you will recognize, step into an arena of people who are antithetical to our own religious or moralistic predilections. And pretty soon we talk like them. Pretty soon we look like them and behave like them. So how could it be that Jacob could maintain his moral fiber, his integrity, throughout all these years? He fought. Vayishlach. And he made his personal enemy, his darkness within. And he dispatched it to the hinterlands of his own consciousness. He did not want any part of it. It's a war that not only Jacob fights in his own life, it's a war that we all fight throughout our own days. A war to achieve the best possible us. Another commentary points out the word garti, and I lived. I lived with my cousin and my father-in-law, Laban, for so many years. Garti also has the numerical equivalent of 613. So implicit in what Jacob is saying is not only did I dwell in a bad place, but I made it a point of ensuring that I maintained all of the practices that my father and my grandfather ingrained in me, and wanted to be not only a part of their life, but a part of all the lives of those who came from them. Garti, I've kept the 613 commandments that God had given to us to maintain a watchful vigil on our own soul and self. Our sages want to tell us that in the coveted Shema, the holy prayer that we say twice daily, it says, you shall love God with all your heart. With all your heart, levavecha, which has a double vet. It doesn't need to have a double vet. Since it's a singular word, it can be libecha. It doesn't have to be levavecha. So what our sages point out to us is that in our hearts, we've always got two pulls. One pull towards the dark side of life, the most insidious part of our own nature, and the other one toward the light. Jacob wrestles with this not only a single time in his life, but his entire existence. And that's the message for us, that we are Jacob, we are Israel, we are caught in a wrestling match that never ends, that we're always going to be fighting the worst impulses in ourselves and the worst impulses outside of us that we see other people do, and that we think after a while we should be doing, because after all, everybody else is doing it as just the same way. So why shouldn't we follow in the same footsteps? So the struggle is to maintain our own integrity, Garti, to be faithful to the 613 commandments, and, perhaps most importantly, Vayishlach, to know that the struggle is part of what it means to be Jewish and human, which of course is why we're called Israel. Israel meaning the one who wrestles with God. Shabbat Shalom.